All right, how does that sound?
Right-hander. No, you're not a right-hander.
No, how am I supposed to drink my beer?
That's true.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point, actually. Welcome to Viral Play Uncensored.
Start that over, man. You can't be giggling like a little schoolgirl.
Welcome to Viral Play Uncensored, where this is not the usual programming that you're used to, I guess, so far in our two little tiny episodes that we've done so far of Salient Points. We've done 2 episodes, Dalan.
Two episodes.
You guys are bickering too much for an intro.
This is
we're enjoying our intro.
This is yeah, I mean, it's kind of that's what it is. It's the bickering.
You know
for regular Salient Points, we won't have our bickering. But right now,
Viral
we're
Play
going to
Uncensored.
each other.
Carlos Macias. We got Dalan Kirkwood here. Say hi to the people, Dalan. We got Abel Perez.
Hey, what's up? Hey, I thought we weren't dropping names.
What do you
mean? No, we're not dropping names outside of our party.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
You will be a known entity.
That's it.
You will, Jonathan Macias. With my
Yo,
brother,
out here.
Jonathan.
What's good?
So we tried this. We rebooted this podcast like 3 times. So we figured we'd come with some topics.
I don't think they have to know that though.
Why not? You're letting them inside.
All right,
You're letting them
I'm gonna tell you, my teeth. I've ground my teeth down to
nothing.
nubs.
So we
Watching
figured
them
we'll get
figure
some
this out.
topics going. To start off, we've done Salient Points a couple episodes. Maybe you guys have heard it. It's our attempt, is mine and Dalan's attempt to kind of get a light, sort of newsy with opinion, maybe sort of a / debate type of show. It's a work in progress. If you guys have heard it, it's kind of like, hold on. But hopefully we're getting better. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. But that's our goal. But we do have Jonathan and Abel here. What do you guys think so far of the podcast, Abel?
I think it's all right. Knowing these guys, I'm surprised they can stay on the topic for
5 minutes at a time.
Maybe that might be a little far-fetched, but maybe more than a minute or 2. It's good, but just here to support. These guys, they're doing something a little positive. Instead of being out in the streets, they could be out there knocking people
I'm not
out.
out there slinging drugs.
Yeah, so
Carlos?
me and Jonathan came today to help support. And hey, they wanted us to be part of it. Why not?
Hey, we might pivot because we were talking about the ratings. If the ratings is higher, we'll pivot quite possibly. What do you think, Jonathan? What do you think of?
It's all about the pivoting.
It's all the
You
pivot.
don't know what we're talking about when we say
It's all
pivot.
about
You
the
just
pivot.
like, I like
no,
the word pivot.
he's seen Silicon Valley.
Oh, okay.
He's seen Silicon Valley, so he knows about the pivot.
All right,
But,
so that's all you need. Watch
I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. It's not bad. I think it was just warming up out there.
Okay, cool.
I like the intro song. I like the Microsoft topic that was going on. Let's just call it a warm up.
It's kind of what me and Dalan go back and forth with this. Like, it's not a finished product. We're actually having a conversation about this earlier. It's like, what is this? We're not talking about games. Like, we're talking about the games industry. We're talking about the bigger picture. That's what we're trying to do, anyways.
Well, in our conversation, picture. I had the argument with Carlos of exactly what we were actually going to do with the podcast. Like, what's the point of the podcast? What are we trying to bring different to the table? And the fact is what we're doing is we're not just bringing the news. We're bringing the news on the gaming industry and how it affects our ability to play these video games and how it really comes
But you didn't understand this.
Us. At the time, I didn't understand this because you brought up Nintendo Direct and didn't have the connection between Xenoblade, and I was like, why the fuck did you have me research Xenoblade if it wasn't even about Xenoblade? It was just about the fact that we need Nintendo Direct.
We're trying to build your database. Dalan didn't follow.
If you can see Dalan right now, he is rampant.
I am rampant. That was kind of upsetting at the time. But
I need to get a water bottle to spritz him.
But I think we're coming. Animated. I think we're coming to terms. I guess we're coming to terms.
He's what you would call extra right now.
So, hey, thank you guys for the feedback, and we hope people are listening, and we're gonna try our best to kind of. We got some lofty goals. We'll see. We'll see if it comes together or not. It's our little attempt at it. And thank you, Abel. Like you said, we're trying to do something a little positive, and to bring it into something more positive. We got Abel's topic first. What is your topic, Abel?
Oh,
that you
man.
want to bring to this little Viral Play Uncensored?
I want to let you guys know this isn't clearly my topic all on my own. All right, they're just putting this on me in case anything comes back on them.
No. I'm not going to throw you under the bus like that, Abel.
Let me give you that little bit of disclaimer before we start. I think we should talk about sexual harassment.
It's like the 101 videos or like sexual harassment 101 in school.
It's like what is sexual harassment now?
Yo, I feel like everybody's popping out of the fucking woods nowadays with that shit.
You know,
I think it's a bad thing though.
it's a good thing, but it's like why are you so ashamed, of being sexually harassed to begin with?
The guy that opened the floodgates was pretty much Weinstein, right? Or the Weinstein Company or whatever. That guy that got ousted from his own.
The director, right?
No, well, he was like a producer.
The owner of the company.
Well, yeah, his name is on the company.
It is
Harvey
Weinstein Productions.
Harvey Weinstein. Yeah,
he he messed up is he didn't own it. You know.
His name.
No.
Wait,
I'm not talking about the company. I'm talking about he didn't own the sexual harassment. If he was like, yeah, I sexually harassed him, and what? You know, that would have been cool.
The same thing, and he still got chopped.
Look
down. The problem isn't the fact that he's dead.
Hold on. Let's see what the. I want to see where Abel goes.
You make your point. I'll come back with my point.
I want to see where Abel goes with this. Continue, Abel.
How do you feel?
May I? Is it okay if I talk?
I'm sorry.
May I have some free speech in America, please?
I thought this was America.
Thank you.
Abel, please to continue.
What I mean is, if he was, let's say, for instance, let's say this guy was Channing Tatum, would any of these, accusers come out of the woodwork? I don't think so. I really don't think so.
It's one of those things that we talk about in our chat, in our group chat that we have on our phones, and it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like, look, there is definitely like a power dynamic, which as a man you're kind of like, I don't know if I like it changing, but I think it's fair, man. I think it creates a different world, and it has become a culture shift where we're like, let's think about this shit. Like, don't be a creep. Like, be nice to people.
Of course, you have to be nice to people, but. It comes down to that whole idea, they're bringing it up on the news, the whole, I was in a position of power. You are never in a position of power unless that person you harass gives you that power to let you harass them. You know what I mean?
I mean, it is. I think it's tough. It's tough because they're trying to get ahead, because at some point people, like, if you're like, well, I can't complain, because they're gonna be like, oh, that's the person that's like giving us a hard time or whatever. So I like it's funny, right? Like, you got the thing with the governor or whatever, the guy that's running for office, that he's like, oh, they're barely coming out with this. Like, well, yeah, I mean, you were in a position of power. You were in a position where you could affect their careers, where you could affect.
Well, I don't think it does. I think it depends on your stature. For example, let's bring up Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has a half-bicep son, right?
I appreciate that. I guess. I think. Well, but what does that have to do with
having an affair and being and having sexual harassment?
Yeah.
So is he supposed to? Do you think he didn't put himself on to the maid? You know what I mean? Like, that was his maid. You're supposed to be professional. I'm pretty sure sexual harassment goes both ways as well. Is what I'm kind of trying to say.
Let me just be on the record. I don't agree. I see where you're going with all this. I see what you're giving someone power, but it doesn't work that way. There's just a whole structure that is built to kind of suppress people, and kind of like, you do what I say, or you don't get that next role, or this is the last movie you make, or this is the what, and it's everywhere.
You'll never work in this industry again.
And it's spread across.
Okay, well, I'm saying is like, undercover cameras have been around for ages. If this was true, if they known this has been going on for so long, why hasn't anybody done their own detective work here and fully expose this guy? Without a doubt.
The problem being is that even if you exposed somebody, especially back in the 90s, probably early 2000s, is they had so much power legally that it didn't matter what you
power
said.
Money-wise.
Power money-wise. But a picture, a video.
Well, I mean, video, it doesn't matter. They would find a legal team that would sweep that crap under the rug, and then that woman would never get justice, and they would just feel like they were vilified by putting themselves out there and then getting pushed to the back.
How about this? It's always weird, like, how the dynamic works. Even like, say, the Louis C.K. situation, where it's like, you think about it, it's like, Louis C.K.'s like self-deprecating. It's like, what power does that guy have? But he has power amongst the community of comedians, and it's funny, like, you hear Mark Maron, he was talking about it, that he actually hit up Louis C.K. I was like, dude, what the fuck? You're pulling your dick out in front of people? What the fuck is this? You're masturbating? And Louis C.K.'s like, no, man, I didn't do that. It's like, well, are you going to address this? Mark Maron's asking, are you going to address this? Like, no, why? I don't want to give air to this situation. But I think every situation's different, right? In the comedian world I think it's so male-dominated. Who does a woman go to say, like, I'm being harassed or whatever? For the most part, you're up there by yourself, right?
Police.
Against I I mean, it's not that easy though, right? It's not that easy.
Undercover camera, baby.
You can feel the peer pressure. I get it.
Look at cops, man. Look at the.
Well, but so what you're saying
the
is
decrease in police negative reports against police departments after they implemented mandatory video cameras on their body.
They just don't report. I mean, you got Terry Crews. Have you seen this man? He doesn't report that a guy was over here touching his private.
That's his. He could have pounded him into the next generation, man.
But it goes back to so it's not like Kevin Spacey, and you would think it's more of it's a male towards female type of situation, but it's not even that. You see Terry Crews, and then you see Kevin Spacey, which he used as the perfect opportunity to say, "Oh, I'm gay now. This is how I'm gonna live my life." Like, wait, what? Can you address the fact that you were like touching boys or whatever it is and shit first, and talking about, well, I'm gay now. This is the way I announce it.
I choose to live as
a gay man.
To live.
Like, what? How about you address the situation at hand?
Yeah, just do that by itself. Hey,
you guys continue. This computer's dying, but you guys continue. Abel,
good going. All right, so pretty much, keep your hands to yourself, folks. We do not condone any sexual harassment in any shape or form.
We really don't.
And
stop being a fucking creep out there.
Stop being a
creep. We all know you're all creeps. Hey, we're all creeps too, but.
No,
don't. No, yeah. This is what I'm saying. Like, and this is why I wanted to give you authorship over.
I'm just testing you guys to make sure
we're listening.
You don't agree with me. You all right? You were listening.
I'm not a creep.
I see you, players.
All right. Abel, if you want to be a creep, go be a creep. In your
in a way, I don't think we're necessarily like equipped. All right, how about this? I'll speak for myself. I don't think I'm necessarily equipped to speak on it, but you can kind of sympathize. You can kind of empathize and understand.
Sympathize too.
And it's not that easy to just come out and be like, you know what, that guy did this. And I think some of those people actually did. And it's like there was no HR in place, or they didn't have a process in place to stop being difficult. No, I think that's a lot of the
responsibility. See, like you said, they have that power.
They did have something in place. The problem being, again, is that they came out, it got brought up, even potentially went to court, but it got knocked the hell down, and nothing happened.
There's the O'Reilly thing would be like, talking about, I didn't harass anyone. You paid $32 million.
That's a lot of money.
What? That's a lot of money you didn't do anything.
But he paid out to $32 million and no major repercussions happened to him.
I mean, $32 million.
I mean, that's a drop in the bucket for O'Reilly.
But whatever it is, what kind of serious depraved shit is O'Reilly into that it takes $32 million for it to shut down?
I don't even understand how much $32 million is.
Like, you can't even fathom. You can't even fathom how much money that is.
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Yo, shout out to fucking social media. Like,
what do you think that?
Everybody just coming out.
Oh no, man! Social
media. Too? Talking about the hashtag
with the sexual harassment and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that amplifies it. That amplifies the message.
See, here's the thing though. You hear about these celebrities coming out. Have you guys ever been sexually harassed?
No.
I'm gonna go with no.
I mean, it's a serious thing though.
All right, what if I told you right now I'm undressing you with my eyes? Do you feel harassed?
I'd say enjoy it.
All right,
there you go. Right. He took away my power.
Not everybody would actually have the same
point taken.
Right there. Just, keep it normalized over there.
Not everybody would keep it popping. But not everybody would have the same response to sexual harassment.
Dalan just took away my power.
I mean, I see what you're like trivializing it, but it's like it's pretty serious. I mean,
it's serious, but like you said, hey, they just want to be the next movie star.
No,
that means it's
being used against you. Your progress, your ability to progress in that industry is actually being ripped away from you. Where it's like, if you don't do this, then you're not gonna get the part. But it's like I understand. I mean, I guess.
So it's like, I'll give it now, and I'll report it later, a couple years, 20 years down the line.
Well, the problem.
Just so I could be the star.
The problem is when it's reported, it's not reported as like he's sexually harassed, or there has to be repercussions or whatever form. No, it's she's been difficult, or you're not you're not his type, or this or whatever. It's like all this. Like little bullshit things that adds up. Dude. If you look at the accounts, actually, I don't know if you guys do, but I stopped reading it, man. I'm like, oh damn, another one. I was like, I can't read this shit. This is like some. What do you mean you're gonna be on the other side of a desk and masturbate while a girl's in front? Like, what the
no,
fuck?
What?
This is a Louis C.K. thing. This was the Weinstein
How
thing.
do you get away with that? Like
And apparently the movie that he was working with, I think it was called "Love You Something," "Love You Man," or whatever it is. It was a play on that. And what's his name? Sonny in Philadelphia is pantomiming that he's masturbating on the other side.
Well, he's a comedian, man. So it's
I get
it's okay.
I get it's he's a comedian, but you think about it like. This shit's coming from a real place. This shit, Louis C.K. was doing this shit.
That's how Louis C.K. has always done his comedian.
Which is funny. It's like one of that. I think he's one of the more interesting cases because it's like part of his jokes is that he's uncomfortable sexually or dating or whatever it is. Like, oh, yeah, you motherfucker. Okay. In the meantime, he's like trying to sympathize and be like, no, it's okay if I do it because I'm weird and I talk about this and this is part of my act.
See, and what kind of gets me too is like what kind of takes away credibility is you can obviously see sometimes that these are like, you know, claims are, you know, like obvious strippers and, you know, in high heels.
See, you're painting like in a broad
I know, but they take away from actual.
Yeah, I mean, so and I think,
you know, victims here.
Actually, one of the things, who was it that I think Mark Halperin, he did the circuit, like even political guys, and he's a Democrat too. So it's like it's not a partisan. It's not just Republicans, Democrat.
Let me give you an example. Kobe Bryant. Do you really think he has to quote unquote rape somebody or harass somebody? It's Kobe Bryant, you know, and you know I think that's kind of difficult to.
You didn't let me. I understand. I see where you're going.
Either way it goes, Louis C.K. I think he's doing a better job of handling his situation better than Kevin Spacey.
We'll return back to the Kobe one, just to finish the Kobe one. But see, you got the Mark Halperin situation where it's like they come out and they're like, some of it is true, not other things are true. So that's kind of goes to what you're saying. It's like some of them were women that were like they're trying to get caught up or whatever. But that's painting with the broad, you know, brush, a broad stroke. Again, that's a whole I would say that's not even the majority. That's at the extremes where they're like they're obviously trying to get away with something or not saying the truth. And for them to protect themselves, they don't say what's true and what's not true. Just to like
some of it is not true. Dead dragon listening to you. He's falling asleep over here.
No, he's trying to transition to Jonathan's topic. Are we done? How about this?
I'm trying to draw a dead horse getting hit by a stick or something. You're beating a dead horse here, you guys.
How about this?
All right, listen, you guys.
Something to trivialize, and just gotta believe people. Just gotta believe people.
You know, investigate. Hello, authorities. How
about this?
How about you listen to these people, authorities?
We can leave it at this. There's such a thing as alleged, so. Some of this has to come through and be proven. Right?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
But you didn't say that.
But nothing will be proven if the women don't come forward.
Like whores or prostitutes.
No. I'm saying there are whores and prostitutes that are like, I have nothing else to lose but to be on TV and.
But I would say those are at the extremes, not necessarily.
And that's hindering this whole, you know, this whole sexual harassment thing. You know, to get behind it, I think it also falls on, you know, hey. Where are your parents at, man? You know, where are your friends at? Where are these people that are supposed to be corralling you to a better part of morality? You know, that's why, you know, obviously I'm here, you know, while we're doing this whole thing. You know, we're not doing anything
Dalan,
deconstructive.
We'll move on to Jonathan's point, but Dalan, what do you think? What final thing, and then we'll move on to Jonathan's topic of the evening.
Well, there's the old saying that for evil men to win, good men would do nothing, right? I can't remember exactly how the saying goes at this particular moment. What are you doing?
Speaking of the mic.
All right, but
why? Just continue.
Because I can. But the same thing goes for women. For evil to win, women. I mean, if women do nothing, evil people would win. So my statement is just all these women that are actually being impacted by sexual harassment, regardless of who you are, how small you think it is, to just come forward, because you never know how many people are in the same boat as you, and especially nowadays, there are definitely some that can
we're
come
gonna
up.
have to agree to disagree. Just believe. I would say believe. You don't believe I would say I believe there's alleged things. Yeah, they should be proven, but for the most part, it's.
Well, you can't prove nothing if nobody says nothing about it.
All right. Jonathan, what's your topic?
Innocent until proven guilty.
Jonathan, what do you think?
I just had Louis C.K. That's what shocked me the most.
He's like, my heart dropped.
You hadn't heard about that? You hadn't heard about Louis C.K.?
No, it's just like...
Did it really, though? Did it really shock you?
It kind of, you know what? It's one of those things where he says shit, but you don't think he's like, oh, damn.
See, we can't even joke. We can't even joke around
anymore. I can't enjoy his...
But it's not that.
I can't enjoy his material anymore. I was like, oh.
Does it affect you that bad? Like,
not that bad, but I mean...
It's kind of like the Bill Cosby thing, right? One thing is the quote-unquote quote art or the shows.
You gotta think about it this way too. All your comedians are, you look on the background stories. They're all broke. Look at
heroes. They're going the wrong way. What's happening?
Look at our near and dear Robin Williams, man. Oh man.
Yeah, but that wasn't a sexual harassment issue.
We're not talking about sexual harassment. We're talking about.
He's talking about they were broken.
You're talking about they're broken. I couldn't understand why you got to that point. Okay.
Stay on point.
So we're talking about, let's say, hey, obviously he killed himself. I'm not going to bring it up. I don't know if it's appropriate.
I mean, we heard it, but that's okay.
But it's. You're going deeper into the woods with that, but it's.
What's maybe more
I think
relevant?
he hung himself.
You know what's more.
But they caught him with his pants down. Is what I'm trying to say.
It's weird. He's broken.
Actually,
what's more relevant? We'll end it on a good note. Well, I think yours is Dalan. What your topic is Trump, right? What was your topic We'll go into that one. We'll end it on a good one because sports is always good.
Yeah, it's good.
Sports is always
good. Sports better than anybody else.
Dalan.
Well, my original question was for people here at this podcast. I believe everybody is Democrat, or no? Is they libertarian?
How about this? We can
join
go
the club.
Dalan,
no, thank you.
What do you consider yourself?
I consider myself Democrat. Originally, I didn't actually feel the need to have a party, but I realized after thinking about it that over all the years that I've been really voting for people, that it's mainly just been Democrats.
All right.
Period.
So, Jonathan, where do you fall in line into this?
I don't feel like I have a place in the whole parties.
You understand that it is important. Don't be Kaepernick. Actually vote. You actually have to vote.
No, I do vote, but
okay, you did vote.
I voted this last time. I haven't voted the other previous times.
Okay, all right. As long as you vote, whether you vote whichever way you vote.
Well,
you vote.
as we learned, popular vote doesn't matter anymore. Anyways,
so. What do you consider yourself? This is a dilemma.
Oh yeah, Russia out there mad manipulating your votes.
Oh no.
What do you Abel? What do you align with?
I don't align with any political party because I think. Yes, of course I voted.
You are voting, right? You're not counting.
Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't say anything right now if I didn't. But what I'm saying is, it's a lot of your voting. You should do a lot more locally. It's not just the president and that's it. There are a lot of local, city council, mayors, your congressmen, senators. You vote. Your ultimate vote ultimately comes from the smaller votes, your closer connections.
Or you would think
it's a chain of command kind of a deal.
It does. You impact your local community. Your local vote counts more because it's actually impacting where you live, and then that kind of spreads out.
So let's say, you know how that works, right? We all live on this block, right? We all want, let's say, free water. We want free water for the next year. If we all want that, and the next neighborhood sees that we all voted for that, hey, they're going to vote for that too. Mm-hmm. And that makes two neighborhoods now. That's where the whole, that's the way I kind of see it as, whole chain of command kind of deal. It's a community thing. Yeah. Communities make, it's a big country,
about
man.
The district issue.
Well, no, but that's really where you're impacting at a local level. I would say, you know what, I kind of feel like I probably lean a little more Democrat, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just as bad at the extremes. It's just as bad. I feel like we need a viable third option. But it's when people are split so much, where it's I gotta vote because I can't waste the vote. It's kind of a problem.
That is the one thing that I will definitely give to Donald Trump, because before Donald Trump decided to actually run for office, before he started doing his thing, his outrageousness, that's what I'm going to call it. Before he started doing his outrageousness, there were very few people who even cared about politics.
Get closer.
Get closer. All right. Yeah. How does that sound? All right. There were very few people that cared about politics, that even thought about politics. They were so busy doing whatever they do in their own little worlds. But then suddenly Trump showed up, and everybody had this notion that we need to go vote so we can make a fucking
People
change.
are paying attention.
People are paying attention because we know that Donald Trump is, in my opinion, spewing some bullshit out there.
No, well, here's the thing. I think it's not that people are paying attention. people aren't paying attention.
But
it's
they weren't. Now,
they
now,
weren't at
now
all.
when you
Like,
have
they didn't even know it was on the board.
Now when we have the guy that we have is like, oh damn, we have to. You know what it was is we had our foot on the pedal and then we're like, Hillary's gonna make it. Hillary's gonna make it. It's like, no, you took your foot off the fucking pedal, and this is what happens.
You know,
this is what happens.
It's like that movie. I like to akin it to that movie, Speed. You know, hey,
Speed.
Think about it, man. You thought you were on the cool bus downtown. Next thing you know,
there's a fucking bomb on the bus. Suddenly, you gotta stop this shit.
You're heading to your next destination.
Reference.
Okay, then we need our Keanu Reeves to get on the fucking bus.
No. You are your own Keanu Reeves.
I'm my own Keanu Reeves.
Think about it, Keanu Reeves, Matrix, man. Come on now, he's.
Hey, what was
the Speed reference?
Go back to the Speed situation. What was happening with Speed?
No, we're talking about.
You're just talking about the bus. You're not even talking
about. Can you stop, sir?
Can I stop?
You can't. It does pop a lot.
Just try not to pop it too much.
So
continue with your Speed.
Anywho,
Don't make them pop the mic so much.
What we're talking about here is how, people want to get involved in politics now. Now's the time. Let's do everything. Forget this guy. Forget that guy. It's like, hey, where have you been the last 4 years? Where have you been the last 8 years? Where have you been the last 30 years? Actually, where have you been in history class?
What were you doing in civics class?
They're not telling you this, and that's the thing.
Burger Mania.
Exactly, and that's the thing.
The double burger.
The two for $2.50.
Yeah,
let me fill you guys.
That's history.
Let me fill you guys in really quick, listeners at home.
We'll get back to it. All right, I'll get us back.
Carlos will bring us back in. What we want to explain. There's this burger joint that everybody used to ditch school for, just to go get 2 hamburgers and 2 French fries for $2.50.
Was it $2.50?
It was $2.50.
What is it at now? Like $5?
It was
like $4 now.
Yeah, it was a very run of the mill spot, but we just had to bring that up, no matter what. That wasn't stopping us. But anyways, the whole point of this political thing is like it's too late now. It's too late to point fingers.
Okay.
I think as far as Trump, yeah. Like it's not his fault. Like impeach. I just came out of Walmart the other day and seen a big, little tarp, nice big tarp with a little canopy. Impeach Trump. Come sign the paper. I'm like, you know what? That's not the problem because who's behind him?
Yeah.
Who's next in line after him? Yeah. And then who's the next guy after him? You are not going to be anywhere close to where you need to be.
It is.
That's true.
At this point, it's writing it out and understanding what happened. Like Hillary's, but I haven't read it. I'm not too interested, right? But it's what happened, how it happened, and because people are really caught up in this whole idea where it's like, he's a racist and he's won because he got the racist votes. Like, it's not that. It's not that. He knew who to talk to. He knew how to win the votes. It's like you talk to people that have lost their jobs because of quote coal and whatever else you want to call it. He's like, I'm gonna get your job back. Has he done it? He opened up coal mines.
He opened a new coal mine.
But what I'm saying is people
and they're going in there cleaning coal.
Okay, but people are so obsessed with like he won the racist votes. Like, no, he didn't. He won it based on these counties, these places where I'm able to win their vote. Is like, let me go talk to them, and it's like, I'm gonna get you your job back, and that's kind of what he won. Yeah, there's a small percentage that he's emboldened, like the motherfucking KKK demonstrations that we saw like a couple months ago or whatever.
Right.
But for the most part, I would say it's real quick. Yeah. For the most part, I would say he knew how to win the vote and he did it, and Hillary did not know how to.
See, and that's the thing as well. What was she willing to go to these locations? You got to think about it too. America.
She didn't go. With
America.
Hillary didn't campaign properly. She really fucked.
America isn't all middle class, all nice and dory. I think that slowly. The poor classes are catching up, to the rest of society to where pretty much, I'm not going to say this if this is true for everywhere because I haven't been everywhere, but, for the fact that he's pretty much bringing up the fact that, hey, I'll bring you back a coal job. And people are like, yes, I'm going to vote for him for a coal job. It's like,
well, but
what does that tell you?
Back, but it wasn't like. What was it? I was like a statistic where I was like, he brought a few jobs back, but it's like, dude, he didn't bring back all your jobs.
Now you guys making the statement, it makes me think, do you feel like Donald Trump is doing the job that he promised that he was going to do? Because he talked about building a wall. He talked about changing.
Mexico's going to pay for it.
And Mexico's going to pay for it. He talked about
4 years ain't up yet, right?
Yeah, his
4 years ain't up, but he hasn't done any major legislation
you can't expect.
Since day
do you
one.
understand how big this country is?
Yes. Do you know how difficult this job is? Because he definitely didn't when he started. He kept saying,
I like how he
this
looks
job
like
is
he's
harder
like.
than I
I
thought
like
it
how
was.
he's walking around with like wide-eyed, like like the emoji, the little wide-eyed emoji. He's kind of like, oh damn. I don't know if I wanted to. I think he was not expecting to win. He shows up, he's like, ooh damn, I won.
I just think
now what?
I just think it's fascinating that somebody with absolutely no political experience landed in this spot, and just think about that. Think about that and that alone, and that'll give you.
Shit, Reagan did the same thing, but he did a lot better job.
No, but this was a whole thing. This was like this is the president we deserve. This is a social media president. And look,
he's a meme.
So there's a couple good things that come out of it. So this is some couple good things that, and you did bring it up, Dalan. One of the things, the primary thing I would say is that one of the main things is the attention. People are kind of waking up. It's like, damn, this is what can happen if we're not out there actually voting and paying attention. The other thing is, you can be a president. You, Dalan, can be a president. You, Abel, can be a president.
Right there.
You, Jonathan, can be a president. Anybody can be a president.
Yo, vote for Shaq and
Big Shaq or regular Shaq?
Regular Shaq. Arnold. I know people.
Big Shaq with the boom scott.
I want to see my I want to see my Arnold Schwarzenegger library. I'll tell you that.
Hey, do you understand how reckless we look for outside of America? Like, yo, who the fuck is running America?
Yeah, I mean, you
we're very disappointed in you people. You got
a
child.
But
you look quite foolish, I would think, to the rest of us. Jonathan, take us out with your topic. Something a little positive. I know you're excited about the new generation coming up.
It's here.
Basketball.
The new generation of basketball.
Actually, for people that don't like sports, we're gonna get into it. So thank you
we
for
love
listening.
sports. So
thank you
sit
for
tight
listening.
and.
What I'm saying is, thanks for listening.
No,
talk about lacrosse.
No lacrosse, Jonathan. Anyways, who are you most excited for out there as far as?
It feels like the
NBA, right? NBA.
When it comes to NBA, I feel like the modern late '60s, early '70s are coming back. Like you got
Were you
these.
Around for the '60s and '70s?
No, but you can see like
Archival
just off
YouTube.
Off stats.
Okay.
The stats are recorded.
Yeah, those
are
historical.
Stats. I was about to say because the game itself is definitely changed when I used to.
Actually, stats are proof.
Let Jonathan finish his premise. What's going on
nowadays? You see double digits in multiple areas. Like you'll see sometimes you're seeing a lot of double digit points, double digit rebounds, double digit assists.
You've seen him sooner too. We got
we're seeing him back to back.
Lonzo Ball, which he has a funky shot.
Well, it's not just one player popping up.
No, but I'm saying sooner, as in he got a triple double before LeBron did at the age. I think he did it by within 10 days. I mean,
okay, here's my question on that: did LeBron go to college?
He did not.
He's been balling since he's.
Lonzo had to go.
17 years old.
Lonzo had to go to college. LeBron, I believe, went straight to the NBA, right?
Yeah,
Steph Curry,
now they
have
Steph Curry's like 28.
Imagine if Lonzo could have entered as soon as he was 18.
Steph Curry's what, 28, 29? Steph Curry? He just looks like he's
like 27,
he looks like he's eternally 19, like forever. He's gonna be in his 50s and he's still looking 19. He's got that baby face.
I mean, for the last 20 years, it's just been like 2, 3, 4 good players. Now it's like you're seeing so many.
What we got? We got Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak. We got which is funny. You got an international though. Because even
the world is.
You got Ben Simmons is Australian. Porzingis is.
He's from
European,
Russia area.
European. Yeah, Russia-ish area possibly. Who else we got? Yeah, Greek Freak. Well, he's a Greek. They're like all over.
Got a couple Canadians.
Even Tilenica, he's French, isn't he? I think he's French. He's the next Tony Parker.
I'm not too familiar with that player.
He's the guy with Porzingis. He's next to the unicorn. He's I think he's French, so he's the next Tony Parker.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to pause you right there. Next to the unicorn, what does that mean?
You know what? I just barely found out. People don't know. I just barely found out. Was it LeBron who came up with it? No. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was the one that first came up with the term unicorn to call Porzingis that actually.
Oh, really?
He was like, oh yeah, he's like something rare, like a unicorn, and now everybody uses it.
Which
is basically Porzingis is a really tall player, but he has amazing handles. He has good shooting. He's from perimeter.
I didn't expect him to be so good.
Yeah, he's
so
a
many
unicorn.
Areas,
he's a
being
unicorn.
So tall.
Because usually tall players, you have them center, right? You have them center.
Center, dunking.
He's doing stuff that normally centers don't do. Like he got a perimeter shot. He has a 3-pointer. He could post up. He could assist. He could dribble the ball. He's doing it all around.
He's basically he's basically doing like what he's basically doing stuff you don't expect him to do. So that's why he's like, oh, he's like a unicorn. Now everybody's a unicorn, right?
And it's like almost every team has, they have players to watch, and it seems like more and more teams now, like these trios, that's the hot thing right now. It's trio. You need 3 superstars, no more, no less,
for each team.
For you to win a championship.
Which is funny that you see like the old guard trying to do this at OKC with Westbrook's is young, right? Isn't he like mid-20s or no? He's a little up there now.
He's like 27, 28 now.
Okay, but so that's kind of the old guard, I guess you could say. You got Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony. He finally found a good team to be a part of. Now they're trying. The funny thing about the OKC is you're trying to figure out what their situation is. Like you could tell they're a little uncomfortable still because each one of them had their own team. Paul George with the Pacers, and you had Westbrook with OKC, so has been there, and then Carmelo Anthony.
82.
So they had their team. So you got to figure out. One of you has to be in charge.
82 games seems like it's enough to figure it out.
All 3 of them couldn't handle that responsibility, so I don't think they can.
Carmelo Anthony has been out like a couple games, so I think that built up Paul George's esteem or his aggressiveness. So you actually saw him the last couple of games be aggressive. He's like, hey, you can go for it. You can try. You can try. I think he was held back a little bit.
Just don't let your bones break out of your body.
It's crazy, man. Like the Celtics are falling apart everywhere. Yet they're still like, we're still gonna win 12 straight, even though Kyrie broke his face.
Well, yeah, dude.
Kyrie's looking amazing, like as usual.
Yeah. So you start off the season. You start off the first 5 minutes of your season with the guy breaking his leg in graphic fashion, where you got LeBron getting on his knees and covering his face.
I think he was crying. He even cried a little bit. I think.
He didn't look.
He
too
cried
upset,
for him.
But
LeBron cried for Hayward, man. That was sad.
So you got Hayward, and then who else went down like soon after? I mean, because it was Kyrie, but Kyrie was like in the last week, and he'll be back. Like
I think that's just about it.
I think there was like
one other who do you guys want to see win a title personally?
I want to see Carmelo.
How about this? Who do we want to see, and who is gonna make it this year?
You can't say for sure who's gonna make it. That's sports. That's the beauty of sports.
How about one is the one is the wish. What is the? We can end it on this. What is the matchup you would like to see finals, and what is the one you say that's going to be it?
We can't say that yet. You know why? Because they haven't had the trading. What is it? After the All-Star break, the trading.
Well, I mean, it's very soon in the season. It's like a month in. What's the likelihood? Who do we see? How about this? Who do we see in the Western?
From the West, of course, Golden State.
Well, who do we see?
You love to see Golden State.
Who do we see?
I'd like to see Golden State versus Cavaliers again, but.
I don't know.
Look, a tough time.
Yeah, I know.
Don't tell anybody, but damn, I forgot we're on a podcast. I'm a fan of Harden, man. I'm a big fan of Harden, and
he's got CP3, man. But CP3 with his crooked hands.
Yeah, but what's bad about liking Harden? Though?
No, those guys are good.
Harden.
How about this? To me, Western Conference Finals is gonna be Harden, the Rockets versus Warriors. See who comes out alive.
I see OKC figuring it out, and then
they got time.
Going against
and then
Golden
Cavaliers
State.
have time too, and then they have Isaiah's gonna come back at some point.
I feel like the Sixers are gonna be a creeper this season.
You think?
Oh no, I think the Bucks. The Bucks.
Maybe the Bucks.
Bucks.
They get another trade or two. They're a shoo-in.
Bucks and Sixers 8 seed. They'll make it. Well, how about this? They'll make it in. I don't know if they're gonna be a top seed or anything, but they'll be 8, 7.
I think they'll get there.
Sixers definitely 8th seed. I don't see them going because they're good, but they're figuring out.
I don't know, man. Wait for the trades to happen, man. All I'm saying is once those big name players see that these teams are really gunning for it, bam, they're out of there.
How about it? Do we agree? Western Conference Finals, Rockets versus. Oh no, you said.
Oh wait, we still haven't seen Kawhi Leonard come back.
We haven't seen Kawhi.
Well, here's the thing: if they can't make it without Kawhi, they ain't gonna make it with Kawhi.
Well, look, how about we haven't seen Kawhi. We haven't seen Isaiah Thomas. What he will do with the Cavs? Because see, you gotta understand. And I saw it's always funny to see OG Isaiah Thomas. I was seeing him on NBA TV earlier, and he's like, yeah, you gotta penetrate. You gotta penetrate. If you can't penetrate, either you're penetrating, you pass the ball, or you get a guy like a pick and roll or something. He's like, but now it's not even about that. It's you pass the ball. It's like, man, Isaiah Thomas getting down. OG Isaiah
Explain
Thomas.
this do because people can't see
the
hand movements.
Is basically he's saying that they're dribbling hard. Have you seen?
Thank you.
Have you seen Kyrie Irving's handles? Have you seen this guy? Just it's like they're just putting obstacles in his way. And he's like, I'm gonna get through each one of these in the most elaborate way possible, and then left-hander layup.
Yeah, dude, he's got some linguini for arms, man.
He's amazing.
Some spaghetti arms. They're just dribbling like crazy.
What do you guys think of that? Do you he did the right move going to Celtics? What do you guys
yes, I think because there's not enough space for all those cowboys on the Cavs, you know.
What do you mean, Cowboys? As far as
I was about to ask. What do you mean by this?
I want to know. What do you mean?
Obviously, all right. As far as bringing names in, that's somebody they would have wanted kept is Kyrie, but at the same time, that's going to take away. Kyrie knows it's going to take away from him, and not only that, maybe Kyrie had a say in who he wanted on the team, and they weren't listening to him. Obviously, you can get.
Well, yeah, he was definitely not top dog on the Cavaliers. It was LeBron's team.
And Kyrie was there.
That's the whole reason he went to the Cavaliers, though, so he could help them win, right?
No,
LeBron.
Well, LeBron went back, but he was back. Eventually he was gonna make.
Well, he's gonna be the main player no matter where he goes. As long as he's playing, he's been playing since he was 17. He's gonna be the main player.
You ready for him to do Space Jam?
I don't think I'm ready for that.
Space Jam.
But hey,
Space Jam too. They were thinking about using LeBron.
Kyrie though, man, he's doing it. He's doing it. He's definitely proving that he's like, hey, I got something. And then, you know what? It's Cavaliers is just an old team, man. It's an old team, and Kyrie was there like to give them quickness. Because LeBron could draw all these defenders on him. He's like, let me get it to you, Kyrie, and then you fucking do your dance, and you get in there, and you penetrate and get the layup for me. So I think it's
the question is like, how long is he gonna last playing like this? Because you already seen him a couple times get injured before they get to.
Well, his own player smacked him in the face, so I don't know if that's.
No, but I mean in the past,
Kyrie?
Yeah, Kyrie.
Yeah.
He's gotten injured. That's how they got blown out.
So you're saying he might be pushing it like too hard, maybe, or he has
to just kind of. Point guards playing like this, they usually don't. Like he's shown himself that he doesn't last. Like he's gotten injured before.
I mean, he doesn't have glass ankles like Steph Curry does, and Steph Curry's sitting on a nice $201 million contract. So,
you know what? I think if you guys aren't too savvy to sports or understand sports in general, watch. If you're not into basketball, hey, watch a game. And then do me a favor and watch Muse Cage and let Kobe describe a different aspect of something you haven't even seen in the game. And it's like he, this is why you got to respect athletes. And especially that man in himself. Like there's certain things footage he points out that. You never would have thought to see and look for in the game.
I really enjoyed the ones he did on the Warriors and the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers one was it's like. There's the two towers or something like that. There's a king. There's obviously a king that's determining everything, and then the Warriors is like it's a democracy, and that's how they win. And this is how they beat you. I'm like, ooh, damn, Kobe getting deep on these Muse cases. I appreciate the Muse cases.
He was raised by scholars,
and he knows Spanish. Do you hear him speaking Spanish? He's like fluent.
He's a smart guy. He knows what the fuck he's talking about.
And look at that as well. Look at last season helping out. Isaiah Thomas, helping out any player. I mean, they should be helping out a lot of other players, but look at their game improve. Especially when they're being asked in interviews, hey, why are you improving? How'd you improve so much over the past 2 weeks? Statistically, it's showing on paper. You've improved dramatically, and they're like, oh, I called Kobe.
Any last words, Dalan?
Actually, Mike, I had one more question before you guys dropped off.
Go ahead.
Is because I was actually just thinking about it while you guys were talking about all these injuries that were actually happening, and Kyrie Irving, things like that. But Alonzo Ball,
Go ahead.
I think I missed the whole thing that was happening with him because I don't watch sports like you guys do. But I heard that Lonzo Ball was getting like bullied by somebody on the court.
Oh, that's just aggressiveness, man.
Yeah,
that's just a
but it was
regular
like one specific person. That was bullying the crap out of him.
LeBron was just I don't know if LeBron was bullying him, but somebody was gonna trying to look up to him. He's trying to push LeBron, and he just flexes on him. He's like, "What's up, man? What's good?" It's one of those things where it's like rookies versus veterans, right? Like you earn your spot, you earn the fact that you've been doing it and working hard, and it's like. The rookies don't just get away with anything they want. Right?
And you think Alonzo Ball's that next rookie of the year?
Alonzo thing, the messed up, the fucked. Oh, we're uncensored, right?
Yeah,
the fucked up thing about Alonzo Ball is that it's not even him. It's his dad that's kind of creating this whole aura against him. As LeVar Ball, right?
It looks good when he's right. It looks really good.
But he's been inconsistent is the thing, right? Lately, like sometimes he has games where he's like he was barely.
I feel like he hyped up Lonzo Ball too much, where Lonzo Ball is like he's not meeting expectation.
I mean, he's up there, but he's not.
He's nowhere near to the level he was.
Not yet.
His dad is basically the hype man, and he's not necessarily living up to hype. So any drama or any controversy, it's not him himself. He's quiet. He doesn't really say much. It's his father creating like a lot of the drama.
I feel bad for that child.
He's doing what his childhood
was like.
I think there's too much pressure going into when in his game. I think he just needs to relax, play his own game, and not.
I mean, he
get caught up in this
like we mentioned earlier, he got a triple-double faster than LeBron, and he's got
and he had to go to college. He could have got it sooner.
He doesn't keep it consistent.
No, he's inconsistent.
Think about it.
And I mean, it's funny. Like he got a 30-point game, and it's like, what's against the Suns? But it's like. That's still an NBA team.
It's still on the professional level.
As bad as the Suns are, it's like that's still an NBA team, and he still dropped 30 on them. So it's kind of like he's just inconsistent. I think he has to get comfortable in his own skin, and because people are like he needs to be more aggressive. It's like, well, he's a point guard. He kind of has to. What matters is the assist and the flow of the game and how he gets the rhythm going through the game.
And let's not forget, this is his first year in.
He's a rookie
in the NBA.
But rookie of the year, though, it's not gonna go to him, though.
I like how
no Tatum.
Who's Tatum?
Channing Tatum.
Have you seen? I was thinking.
I like how all these other players get the break. It's his first year. You get a guy like LeBron James, but he does it every fucking game for fucking the last 14 years.
Yeah, but that's people get tired of that, man.
Yeah.
Oh, but the other players like, it's his first year. Relax.
It's happened before where it's like you start off and you're putting in work.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying that's
LeBron's
why Tatum
hold
is incredible
on a different standard. Like
now
he's not compared like everybody else. Like I don't know. It's just it's kind of bullshit.
Well, hey, thanks for tuning in. This is where you can pimp your situation wherever you guys are
now
at.
You can throw in a little coin.
Thanks for tuning in. Give us some feedback on the episode. And it's like, if this gets the hits, then we might have to pivot. But thanks. I'm Carlos Macias. You can find me at aduseclean.com. Dalan, where can they find you?
Dalan Kirkwood. You can find me at _Zation_ on Twitter.
Tell them about the double underscore. Dalan
about the underscore.
XEXI. Then we got Abel. You want?
No, I don't have a Twitter yet.
You didn't spell it right. Hold up. Roll back. XEXIA.
Whatever. It's fine, man. Jonathan, I think you got a Twitter or Instagram
Twitter,
or something.
J on the rocks. With the first O is a 0.
Oh, damn, complicated. I thought Dalan's was complicated.
All
right, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in.
Holla at your boy.
See you guys next time.
It's too late.
I went outside and I said what happened to all my friends. They were here long ago.